Hello to all our Sardines readers, whether you've newly discovered us during this lockdown or whether you're a long-term subscriber. We hope you're all well and coping in this somewhat strange scenario. This is the first of a series of videos we'd like to do to link to our lockdown newsletters. We're on number 10 now. We hope you've enjoyed them. We hope they've brought you a bit of light relief as well as some interesting information. With the easing of lockdown restrictions presenting more than the odd head-scratching moment for shops, schools and workplaces, it would appear that the hope and expectation of leisure pursuits, which require the gathering of crowds, concerts, festivals, cinema, gyms and theatre, also reopening is still a far-off fantasy in many people's eyes. Nobody really knows if and when a spike or a second wave of COVID-19 will strike the UK, and with the highest related death rate throughout the whole of Europe already hanging round our necks, the more sensible members of our society will be extremely cautious to throw any social distancing measures to the wind. Unfortunately, there does appear to be a worryingly high number of people who have wasted no time filling the beaches, the parks, open spaces at the first signs of summer. Social distancing will make the reopening of theatres virtually impossible. Queues for the toilets alone could possibly take hours, and that's after the most enthusiastic customers, those that can actually afford to buy tickets, have arrived even earlier to spend just as much time getting into the venue in the first place. Then, of course, there will be the need to safely spread the audience out, and in doing so, vastly restricting the capacity to such an extent where it simply won't pay for the theatres to open the doors in the first place. And this is just thinking about the audience. What about the production itself? How will people rehearse? What if the play itself requires close interaction between the actors rather than social distancing? How will the backstage crew work efficiently and safely in restricted circumstances? Such activities would be under the closest public scrutiny from society, media and social media waiting to rip into the slightest slip-up. This lockdown update number 10 is the first of the summer and comes out just 5 months before the professional panto season, usually the busiest time of the year, needs to open its shows. So how will the amateur, non-professional sector follow? Ironically, with most members of non-professional groups having outside careers and income streams, it's likely that a high percentage of the amateur sector would be able to survive. But what the new normal will be like is another thing. Even the term new normal sounds almost post-apocalyptic. Could the future of theatre see the total collapse of the professional industry? The government cannot and will not pay company wages forever and has already announced that August will see the second and final payments for self-employed and freelancers. Such a collapse would signal a devastating time for the amateur sector. After all, who would we aspire to then? Would non-professional society memberships be flooded with ex-professionals looking to practice their first love? Our most esteemed drama schools would pretty much become obsolete in such a scenario. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Things eventually got back to normal after the horrendous death toll from the post-World War I pandemic. It might just take a generation to do it. So can we last until a vaccine is developed? Can pantomime? Please feel free to share your views via Twitter, Facebook or email. And remember, when we post a video, if you press the bell, you can be notified of all our upcoming videos and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening.